Hello, Sharks. I'm Mike Odell from Oklahoma City, and I'm asking for $150,000 in exchange for 5% of my company. Sharks, it may not look like it, but I love quilting. It's a relaxing, creative, and meaningful hobby. But when I was getting started, the quilt kits out there were tedious, and the resulting quilts were dull. I created a company that is not your grandma's quilt patterns. I'd like to introduce you to Legit Kits. These are easy to sew foundation paper piece patterns and kits that make beautiful masterpieces. Sharks, we stand apart from the competition in our prolific use of color. Some of these quilts have over 100 shades of fabric in them. I mean, look at this level of detail. Let me show you how it's done. First, you match the pattern to the fabric, pin it in place, then sew along the printed line. Get your next color and sew that one on, then trim everything up, and using easily readable instructions, piece it together into your finished quilt. And voila, your latest masterpiece. And with over 60 designs to choose from, Legit Kits has a pattern for everyone. Like Barbara, who's so busy she can't even sleep at night, she would pick Big Hooter.
I love it.
Mr. Wonderful, who always has the proper accessories at all times, he would choose Sir Legit-a-Lot because both he and our knight in shining armor are dressed to kill. So, Sharks, which of you is too legit to say I'm out?
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
We are back with another Shark Tank Breakdown episode. I am your host, Dave, 10-year intellectual property attorney. And again, I'm back and in full fashion. I just came back from the Shark Tank reunion tour in Tampa, Florida. I had a phenomenal time. You're not going to want to the extent that you are not part of the IP community, you definitely want to not only hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, but you're going to want to subscribe to the channel because over the next week or so, I'll be coming out with live interviews from down at the Shark Tank conference, where again, it was exclusive for prior Shark Tank contestants. That's why it's called the Shark Tank Reunion Conference. But your boy was an exclusive podcast there, so I was able to get sit-down interviews, run-and-gun interviews with past Shark Tank guests. I was able to kind of reconnect with people who I have already interviewed who were on Shark Tank. We're able to do updates and kind of do interviews, catching up with them in person. So a lot of exciting stuff from that 3-day conference that I can't wait to bring you all. So you're definitely going to want to hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And getting back to the pitch at hand here, this is interesting. Now, man, I have an aunt who's like my second mom, and she will sew or knit a mean quilt. I guess we call it an Afghan, but I'm not sure the distinction. But I'm a kind of consider Afghan as a subset of a quilt. But she would sew a mean quilt or a mean Afghan. But with that being said, is quilting or producing a quilt, is that big of a thing these days, or is it like more of a niche thing? It seems like he wants $150,000 for 5%. So he's kind of valuing the company around $3-4 million. So we'll see if he has some sales. You guys have to let me know in the comment section. Is quilting, is producing a quilt, is that something that a lot of people are kind of doing, or is that kind of more of a dying trade? You guys have to let me know. Now, the 3 things plus the bonus that I look for in these pitches is how simple is it, how effective is it, and what's the market like? Then the 4th is the IP. So quilt making, it seems like from what he's explained so far, is pretty simple. I'm not sure how simple it is to actually make the quilt, but in terms of the product that he's providing, it seems like it's pretty simple. The effectiveness, a lot of times you're going to deal with the market, or you're going to deal with the reviews as well as the sale history. So we kind of get the effectiveness, because I'm sure the Shark's going to ask what he's doing in sales. And then the market, like I said before, the question I posed, is making quilts, is that a thing? Is that a lot of people doing that? Is it like a small market? Clearly, you can still make money in niche markets, but is it so niche that we think that the Sharks are not going to be interested? I would love to hear from you guys on that. And then the 4th thing is the IP, the intellectual property. Now, I did a quick search, and he has the term Legit Kits trademark. I would actually do a trademark of the logo, because I think the logo is pretty cool and pretty colorful. So, and again, the good thing about trademarks, you can get, whether it's a phrase, whether it's a logo, whether it's a word, you can file a number of trademark applications. I actually was doing some over the weekend or on the plane ride back. So yeah, he has the word Legit Kicks trademark. I would definitely suggest or recommend that he also trademarks the actual logo Legit Kits, because I do think that's a pretty cool logo. So that's kind of my thoughts so far. Like I said, Let's see what the Sharks think. But it seems like he definitely should have some sales because he's a $3 million company or valuation, $3 to $4 million valuation for doing quilts. That's interesting, but that's just my take. Let's go.
So what got you onto quilting?
If anything gets passed down to you, it's a quilt. Money gets spent,
That's true.
clothes go out of style, property gets sold, but quilts get passed down. So the neat thing about this is if this company collapses tomorrow, and there's zero chance of that, by the way, then these quilts will be around for sometimes hundreds of years. So I was a full-time registered nurse anesthetist, and I work with pediatric patients. So I do
that's
anesthesia.
your full-time gig.
Yeah,
This is your side hustle.
this is my side hustle that's blowing up.
Yeah, I got it.
And then I'm married. I have 3 kids. So I was pretty busy anyway, but I had to do art. I was gravitated towards healthcare because I'm a people person, but I wasn't fulfilled. I've realized that I am a high creative with a high risk tolerance. And neither of those 2 points work well with my current career. You don't want your anesthesia provider to be creative. You don't want them to have a penchant for risk, right?
Oh, that's funny.
Mike, how do you find people that can sew that are interested in quilting and have the time to do it? I would imagine the customer acquisition cost is high because out of 10 people, maybe 1 does this, right?
I found that to be $17.
$17. And
Yes,
how much
on
does the kit
Facebook.
cost? How much does it cost?
To make a large kit,
Yeah.
these cost us $125 to produce,
What is some for?
$399.
All right.
Wow, that's a high price point.
You gotta really
is.
want to be a quilt kid.
And you got to put in the work.
Yeah, you do.
Let's talk about your total sales.
Okay. So I launched this company in 2020, and that year we had $30,000 in sales.
Who bought those 30,000?
My average customer is a dedicated quilter. There are 11.1 million of them in the United States alone. So 2021, we had 140,000 in sales.
Okay, keep
Okay.
going.
In
Keep going.
2022, we had $400,000 in sales.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And in 2023, we hit $1 million in sales.
Whoa!
Heck yeah.
$1 million, a big Hooters, big Hooters.
What is your profit?
Our profit last year was 8.7%. This year, sadly, my accountant told me we were revenue neutral.
Ugh.
And I know that makes you sad, Kevin. The difference is we are now in a larger facility that we can scale from.
What are you going to do this year, all in?
So far this year, we've had $825,000 in sales up to
That's
this
not
point.
bad.
Can you give me a ROAS number?
My advertising has been terrible.
Oh, that's good news.
The last time I paid a guy $3,000, we sold $10,000 worth.
You're saying you have a 3.5 return on your advertising. You spend 3,000, you get 10. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I love about Shark Tank. Who knew there was a quilting community like this? And now I'm a quilter. I just love this. If you had a partner like me that could help you acquire the customer, because that's really what this is about. To me, this deal is got to be a royalty deal. I'll give you the $150,000.
This is
I'll
not
keep the
crazy
5%, but I want $10 a unit in a royalty. And the only thing I'm going to do for you is social
Is this royalty
media.
forever?
Did you say, okay, I like that idea. I'll do the $10 as Jamie suggested in perpetuity.
That's a heck of an offer.
It is a
That's
heck
an
of an
amazing
offer
offer. You can
because you have
afford
a
the 10
huge
bucks. You can
margin.
afford the 10 bucks.
One of the biggest, really the biggest that I can recall hearing in the Shark Tank.
Yeah, and we're revenue neutral this year because this
Look at, and I'll stop you really quickly. I did forget out a point. She does kind of make these quilts for other people, and these things are expensive. I actually have one in my living room, and not only are they expensive, but they are pretty warm and they do last a long time. So I definitely understand what the gentleman is talking about when he said, "Hey, these things are going to be passed down forever." And actually, my aunt, she had to make me a new one. Love you, Aunt Rosie, but because my college roommate back in college 10 plus years ago, he stole my Michigan State theme one, so she had to make me a new one. So again, they are good, they are cool, they are what's the word I'm looking for? Something that other people want. So but yeah, $399 seems like that's definitely a decent price. Seems like, who would have thought $1 million he made in 2023. It seems like in 2024, he's probably going to surpass, or he probably surpassed that as well, but they didn't make any money in 2024. It seems like in 2023, when he made $1 million, he was about $80,000. So, not a ton of money. But again, it'll be interesting to see if he accepts Kevin O'Leary's Mr. Wonderful's offer of $150,000, 5% along with that royalty in perpetuity, which is crazy. But again, to the gentleman's point, seems like one of the biggest things I learned at the Shark Tank Reunion Conference this past weekend is how social media influencers just kind of posting how that can really transform your business from a snoozer to pretty much a winner. And it seems like this gentleman, $11.1 million quilters out there, who would have thought that? But it seems like he's maybe lacking in the social media aspect of it and kind of paying for advertising and kind of finding people, because it seems like it's more of a D2C business. So seems like he got a pretty good offer. $10, even though it's in per unit in perpetuity, seems like at $3.99. He has some wiggle room there, and then hopefully Kevin O'Leary can kind of get those prices down such that they can make money. Again, they may not make a ton of money, but again, if you can make $100,000 to get up to a couple $100,000, then that's still a good business. Like I said, everybody's not going to have the company that does millions of dollars in profit, but again, if you can make an extra $300,000, then hey, I think that's a winner in my book. So those are some of my initial thoughts. Let's get back to it and see if this gentleman gets other offers and if he accepts one. Let's go.
This year, I have $350,000 in merchandise on racks in our warehouse ready to ship tomorrow. And then I have enough fabric to cut another $650,000 worth of kits.
That means your supply is outpacing your demand.
Yeah.
Growing is expensive, and I know that this fall is going to be
Yeah, but Mike, how do you
nuts.
do that when you don't know which one they're going to buy? I see that as a big problem.
Mike, do you feel it with you said you have 60 designs. I
Yes.
also know you said you are high risk, right? You said I'm a risk taker, I'm high risk. Do you feel like you have enough data on 60 SKUs to be able to order and have $350,000 of inventory sitting there? Like, do you feel like you have that down to a science? Because if you don't, it will take entrepreneurs down every single time.
This thing has no shelf life.
Mike, let me clear the path for you.
Sure.
I mean, you're great, but this business does not do it for me. I'm out.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
You know, Mike, for me, I'd like to be your friend, not your investor. You'd be a hell of a guy to have a beer with, right? I just don't like your product. I'm embarrassed to admit. But I love you. So you want to be my friend?
Heck yeah.
Put 'em out.
I'd love to be your friend, Barbara.
Okay.
Mike, your SKU count, 60 SKUs, and then housing that much inventory. Do you feel like you have enough history to understand inventory management when you're going to house that much risk, right? So for us, like for example, Building It Cosmetics, we had certain SKUs. We would have a foundation or a concealer that would have 50 shades. We would have to know down to a T what percent of each one would sell. So with your 60, do you feel like you have enough data to know?
Oh, yeah.
Right? You do.
We sell by a Shopify platform, and it tells us exactly what's been selling. We have to cut these in batches to make it cost effective.
So why do you have 60 SKUs? I'm
because
curious.
nobody else has done that. I'm doing what nobody else does.
For a
And one of the
reason.
things
Yeah,
that
I was
for a
going to say,
reason.
when no one else has done it, doesn't mean that that's a good thing. And to have so many different colors and so many different SKUs, to me, is just a problem. I think you have to focus on maybe the top 20 so that you know what people love, and then you keep dropping something. Do a drop on something new, get your people excited about it.
He doesn't look worried to me.
I
He's not
know
worried.
you're smiling, but I see it as perilous. I'm not the right partner for you. I'm super sorry, but I'm out.
I love the big hooter. I love the hummingbird. I love the small hooter over there. I love you, but I am not a quilter. I wish you luck, but I'm out.
okay, thank you.
As usual, Mike, all roads lead back to Mr. Wonderful. Now, what I like about this, the #1 seller this season is going to be the Dome of Desire when we put it out there. It could be smoking hot, a perennial seller. I think I've made you a fantastic offer. What do you think? I said $150,000. It's for 5%, but I want a $10 royalty. What do you want to do?
I want to shake your hand.
All right.
That's what I want to do.
That's
Congratulations.
fantastic, Mike. Thank you very
Hey, kudos to him, man. I actually looking at those things, they do look pretty cool. But I do, again, that's one of the other things about going on Shark Tank. Obviously, this gentleman got to deal with Mr. Wonderful, which I thought, even though I'm not a big fan of royalty, particularly in perpetuity, I do think he needs another partner who's going to kind of zone him in, hone him in, help him out with the business, hopefully help him focus on not having 60 SKUs, but maybe cut that in 2/3 to only have 20 and maybe get some of those costs down, help him kind of get customers, blast this thing out on social. And I do think this can be something that is profitable for him. Like I said, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he, again, I wouldn't take away that he won't make $1 million or so at some point. But I do think this is something that can be something. So kudos to him for getting a deal. And I guess the thing that I was going to say is, to the extent that even if you didn't get a deal, just the amount of game that you're going to get just from talking to 5 essentially billionaires, or almost 5 billionaires, is going to be priceless anyway. And I think what Lori and the guest shark was telling him as far as, hey man, just kind of focus. I know you're high risk, and I know you are creative, which is a cool thing, but let's focus on a number of maybe the top 20. And then, as Lori talked about, do a drop every so often to get the people excited. I actually really like that idea. So even though you don't get a deal all the time, the amount of game that you're going to get from the Sharks can really transform your business. Let's take a look at the website before we get out of here with this one. Like I said before, so he has a trademark on the term legit kits. But again, this logo right here, I would also get that trademark. I think that's a pretty cool logo. I didn't see anything on a trademark database that he has a trademark on it, but we'll see. We can no longer ship to the EU effective. So it seems like as of December 12th, 2024, seems like he was getting some customers in the EU, but due to I'm not sure what GPSR regulations are, they can't ship to the EU, so I'm not sure if that hurt his sales or not. Typically, if you have something that's patent or patent pending, you will see it at the bottom here. I'm not seeing anything, which again is not necessarily a bad thing. It seems like this just quilting, so doesn't appear to be nothing novel or none obvious about this. Seems like he's doing some stuff in Australia, and then he's kind of have some instructors. So it seems like he's doing a few different things here. Like I said, it seems like based on this GPSR regulations, he's not able to ship to EU, which is Europe. So hopefully that doesn't affect his sales too much. But again, let me know what you guys think. To the extent that you have purchased a quilt from Legit Kits, let me know how you like it. It seems like they are pretty good, cool looking. It seems like you have the smaller size, maybe for smaller kids or whatnot, but you have the bigger size for adults. And again, one of the big things that I always liked about quilts is these things are, or my Afghan, I should say in my case, that these things are extremely warm. I'm in Michigan, man. It gets cold, unfortunately. So it's good to have something, whether it's a quilt, whether it's an Afghan, that you can wrap yourself up in, and it keeps you warm. So that's one of those things. So to the extent that you have purchased one of these things, and I know what $400 is a nice chunk of change, but heck, people are paying $200, $300, $400 for shoes these days, and seems like he said, this thing's going to last you decades if you kind of treat it right. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. To the extent that you have purchased one of these things, let me know if you like it. Do you not like it? To the extent that you don't have one and then you will purchase one, let me know that in the comment section as well. Like I said before, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. You're definitely not going to want to miss hitting that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. I have a ton of things dropping over the next couple of weeks, from in-person interviews, being down at the Shark Tank Reunion Conference. I got some good game, and I was able to pretty much get in touch with some big dogs. So you guys are not going to want to miss that one. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.